those stories. I think this audience is on their feet because you're thinking, Lord, if I was in that situation, I'm happy to be safe in this cozy studio. We are with Kris Spanjian, who survived an attack by her own herd of bison on her beautiful ranch in Montana. So going back, you have this really, they call it a bucolic life, right? It's like a dream, like you're in Montana, you've got your bison, your pets, your family, and now you are in a situation you couldn't have ever imagined in your life. You're there with your dog, Lily, and the herd of bison now have moved in. How close were they to you when you realized that the body language was aggressive?
Yeah, probably about 20 yards or so. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to get Lily, I figured we have to go way around them. And Lily didn't quite get the whole picture. So she got too close. Mm-hmm. And she was going down the road, and all of a sudden she stopped. She figured out what was going on. She turned to me, and that's when the lead cow, which we call a female bison, lead cow, attacked her. And I was saying, no, 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 no. And I started screaming and yelling, and I heard she got hit twice. That was really horrible for me. But after that, they turned on me. And I don't even remember the first hit. All I remember is getting smashed around in the snow. I saw that lead cow, the bull, another cow attack. I ended up on the ground, face down in the snow. And after it all stopped for a minute, and I reached for my phone. It was gone, of course. I have a smartwatch. I tried to call, home through it. Siri's not available.
Were they all still surrounding you?
They were all about, they were all around.
How far was your home from where you were?
As the crow flies, it was only about 300 yards, but I knew I was going to have to go away around them, So I wasn't that far, really. But at that point, nothing was going through. I was on the ground, and I knew nobody was coming to rescue me, You
had your intuition told you to play dead.
Well, at that point, I tried to crawl backwards to get out of the closest fence, which was behind me. And as soon as I started crawling backwards, then they came after me again.
What was it about you crawling backwards?
I just was moving. I wasn't dead, apparently, and they saw that. And I have this vision in my head. I still remember this, looking up and seeing that bull bison with his tail up, his head down, and sprinting towards me. And then I got it. And then I got flipped. I got thrown. And then I felt hooves on the back of me and stomped on. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, okay, what do you do if a grizzly bear attacks you? You play dead.
How did you have that presence of mind? Because I don't know how you did it. How did you know? Because you're thinking this through. Like, how am I going to survive?
Okay, well, my profession was one that you had to think when things were going to heck, and so I think that's where I.
What was your profession?
I was an ICU doctor, and so things happened quickly there too. And I knew I couldn't outrun them. I knew I couldn't do anything to stop them.
Yeah.
So all I thought was play dead. And I did, just lay there. And they came over and sniffed my head. I remember first the cow over here, then the bull right over here on my head, and I'm down like this. My hair is in front of my face. I can't really see them, but I can feel the breath on my and I just said, don't move, don't move, don't move.
You're telling yourself, don't move, don't move, don't move. Which is incredible because they're not aggressive unless they feel threatened. Were there calves around? What?
No, it was before calving. And, we thought about this. Yeah. Why? And my husband thinks, other people think, there might have been something that was present in early morning hours or something that put them on edge. Possibly, mountain lions we have, wolves occasionally, maybe a moose.
So they were already, as we say, on 10. So they were already at that point.
That's what we think.
You think.
That's what we
Your
think.
injuries, we actually have some pictures because again, this is what you survived. Get a dislocated shoulder, severe bruising, open wounds on your arms and your legs, fractured ribs, sternum, spine. Being an ICU doctor, you know those injuries were all life-threatening, all life-threatening.
Well, there.
What was your recovery like?
You know, I have a great team at the hospital, so
Feel free to shout out the doctors. This is what this has turned into.
My trauma
for real.
team.
Like, thank you.
And the nurses that I knew took care of me.
Yeah.
But you know, I had to go through. My shoulder was such that I had nerve damage and fracture and dislocation. And so I had to wait for the nerve to come back before they could do any kind of surgery on it. So I started physical therapy before the nerve came back, but 3 months of that before my nerve recovered.
Yeah.
Then I had to have a whole shoulder replacement. It was too messed up.
But since then, you've graduated physical therapy.
Yes, so I had physical therapy.
And I should point out, because Lily was there with you, Lily passed away later. Later. But you think it was some of the injuries she sustained?
She eventually, yes, but she had a survivor story of her own.
Yeah.
She was out in the snow for 3 days, 3 nights before anybody found her. And she was still alive, very, very dehydrated, and she had fractures and internal injuries.
I just skipped past this story. How were you found eventually?
I realized that my legs still worked. Everything else was beat up, but I could walk. And eventually I got up and dredged through the snow, was able to crawl under the fence in the snow and get out. And I just laid there for a few minutes going, oh, I'm out. But I realized I got to get home because nobody's coming to find me. So I did. I little by little got through the snow.
How long do you think it took you to get to your house?
It probably only took me about 5-10 minutes, but I had been laying in the snow for a good 20 minutes, probably before that. And then
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I made it back.
You made it back.
I
You
made it back.
survived.
I
You
survived.
That's incredible. Now, are the bison still on the property?
They're still there.
They're still there. Do you interact with them or see them or anything?
You know, for the first few weeks, my heart started pounding every time I saw them, even if I was in the house and looking out the window. But I have gotten past that. And the other day, my husband was feeding them, and I actually went out with him. I was on the other side of the fence, but I looked that bull in the eye. And he seemed to not care about me anymore, which was fine with me.
Well, you look him in the eye and say, I survived, honey, I survived. Thank you so much. Thank you to Kris. We'll be right back. Wow.
Up next, a nursing student's car karaoke goes horribly wrong. She's here next.